There's always two sides to every story. There's the truth, and then there's the story that gets printed up in the media. This week's Parsha, we have the same dynamic. Eliezer is sent out of town on Avram's request to find a Shidduch for his son Yitzchak. His requests are the following. I don't want any of the daughters of Canaan. The daughters of Canaan have a certain midah that I'm a bit allergic to, not for my son. Let's go back to my hometown, place that I grew up. I know the place there. Let's go back to Haran or Kazdim and find a girl from my hometown and bring her back to Eretz Yisrael for my son Yitzchak. And so Eliezer, is a good servant, travels with his camels on a long trip from Eretz Canaan back to Avram's hometown, sitting by a well. And he knows I'm looking for this midah of chesed, which of course is the sort of the kingpin. This is the crown of the Abrahamic family, to be genuine, to be generous, to be giving. And so Rivka walks up and the well water starts to rise, and to test to see if she's genuine or not, Eliezer says, I'm going to ask her for some water and let's see how she responds. And in fact, she responds so beautifully. She says, of course, I will feed you and I'll feed your camels. And in Eliezer's mind, this beautiful, young, virgin, Balas Chesed woman is the woman for Eliezer. He's fulfilled his boss's request. And without even saying a word to her about where she's from, how she grew up, can I see your resume, gives her the jewelry. It's a done deal. And then after she puts the jewelry on, says, okay, so no, what's your name? Who's your father? Who are your parents? When the story gets related back into the media, so to speak, which in this case is when Eliezer now tells the story to Lavan, he realizes that I need to make a few changes to the story because I can't sell the Shidduch if I just tell him what happened. Eliezer knew that Lavan is all about the money. He sort of smelled out, I guess, since Rivka was wearing all the jewelry, this guy must have money. Abraham, everyone knows Abraham, he's a wealthy guy. And so Lavan, who we know now is Lavan's the Russia, he's into idol worshiping of Avodah Zarah, black magic, divination, promiscuity. Lavan in the Haggadah, he says, wants to Aker Esakol. He wants to destroy the Jewish people. His father's the same way. His father eventually, in the story, didn't even want the Shidduch to happen, was going to serve poison to Eliezer, and so a malach, an angel, had to then kill Basul before the end of the Parsha. Bad people. The story of Ches is just not going to sell the Shidduch. So what did Eliezer do? He says, okay, I'll play their game. They're into black magic. So here's what happened, Lovin. I go in, I don't know anyone from this hometown. No one's wearing name tags. And I'm going to make a deal with God that the first girl, when I ask her for some water, that's going to be the girl from Abraham's family. And he tells Lavan, what my boss wanted, it wasn't so much about the hometown. He wanted someone from the Mishpacha. Now, we know Avram never said, I want someone from the Mishpacha. He changed the story. He also made another change. He said, when I finally see who the girl is, I'll ask her which family she's from, and then I'll give her the jewelry. But we know that didn't happen. He gave her the jewelry first, then interviewed her and says who you're from, who your parents. He changed the story because Lavan wouldn't have bought into the whole story of Chesed. He and his parents had been trying to knock this midah of Chesed out from his sister Rivka for years. It just doesn't work. She's generally a Baal Chesed, and it used to irk them. So you can't sell the Shidduch on Chesed, on black magic divination. And so when Rivka shows up and turns out that she's the one that gave the water and from the Mishpacha of Abraham, it was clear to Lavan that this is what God wanted. And once he found out, Rivka gave Eliezer the resume, found out they were actually all cousins here. Bingo, the Shidduch is done, and there's nothing Lavan can do. It must be from Hashem. Sometimes we have to bend the truth to sell the deal, but make sure the deal is the deal that Abraham wants and, of course, that Hashem wants. As long as you have those two things in mind, it could be sometimes that maybe the ends justify the means. Shabbos.